Hello StarCraft fans, this is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between Barcode and State on Ruins of Seras. In the top right side of the map we have the red Terran player, it is Barcode. And in the top left side of Ruins of Seras we have the blue Protoss player, it is State. This is from a ladder match that he played recently on his stream. You can follow him on Twitch, there's a link in the description. And let's get right on into it. Alright, so a PvT on the channel. These are pretty hard to come by. Apparently PvT is a pretty rare matchup. I think that's because Zerg is really popular right now. So PvZs and ZVTs are really easy to find. But PvTs are kind of hard to find. So if you have any access to pro replays with our PvTs, let me know. Send them on over to falconpaladin@gmail.com and I would be eternally grateful. Hey, also, if you speak Korean or know someone who speaks Korean and are willing to kind of bug professional players on Twitter for me and see if I can get replays from them directly instead of having to use third-party sites like lotv.spawningtool.com, that would be fantastic. If you have any access to that, shoot me an email at falconpaladin@gmail.com. We'll see what we can do there. And I'm also thinking about doing a t-shirt giveaway promotion. So if you're on the channel listening to this, and let me know what you'd like me to do. I'm thinking about maybe having people follow me on Twitter, and then once I reach, maybe 1,000 followers on Twitter, everybody who followed in that time would be entered into a drawing to receive a free Falcon Paladin t-shirt or a free, Zerg Protoss t-shirt, whatever you wanted, out of my store. So let me know what your thoughts are on that, and let's see what's happening here in the game. The Terran player is opening up with a 1-Rax expand, going for Marines for more defense against those Adepts. We're seeing that fairly frequently now from Terran against Protoss, getting Marines out to deal with the Adepts instead. Oh, look at that. Sent the Marine around to the back side here, so the probe would feel safe enough to go up and then get killed because it was trapped inside. Well played by Barcode. Smart move from our Terran player. And what was I saying? Yeah, anyway, so again, getting Marines out instead of going for a Reaper expand to deal with those Adepts. If you have about 5 or 6 Marines, you could do pretty well shoving away any of this Adept pressure we tend to see coming out of these Protoss players, as State is doing right now, getting Warp Gate research as well. And it's a 1-gate expand, so that Nexus is just about to complete. Should have something of an advantage over here on Barcode, although his command center is completing just about now as well. So, right, exactly, look at that. Bam, bam, done. State moving right on into a robotics facility. Where is that guy? There it is, robotics facility on the way, possibly for disruptors, likely for observers and warp prisms first of all. And then we'll kind of see the Protoss move into that disruptor play if he feels like he needs to. Factory on the way from Barcode. And orbital command, more SCVs, reactors, just fairly standard stuff. Nobody being too aggressive at all. The Adept is heading on out. It's going to try to kill this SCV, but it saw it coming. Oh, nicely done, SCV. Run for your life, friend. Juke. 1 shot and 2 shots. Does get the second shot off. The SCV dies, but it did buy more time for this bunker to get up. So again, the Adept isn't going to be able to get through here. This is completely walled. That psionic transfer shade cannot go through buildings. And so if the shade comes up here to try to get inside, it won't. It'll be trapped instead by this bunker and likely die. Sonic Transfer checks it out, sees the bunker, says, alright, that's too dangerous for me. Does not actually see a second base yet, so State has to be feeling pretty comfortable about that. And Starport on the way, as well as another supply depot. Yes, indeed. There's that Warp Prism out of the robotics facility, as I was thinking of earlier. Robotics facility, warping that guy in. Going to try for some Adept drops, likely. There's no real defense inside the main base. I don't see a missile turret. I don't see any Marines here at all. But again, if Barcode knows what he's doing in PvT, he will be ready for those when the time comes. That Starport is just about to finish. I think that's likely going to be just for medevacs rather than, as the Cyclone comes out, rather than for more Liberator production or anything like that. We'll have to wait and see, though, how that goes. A single Cyclone is really good at dealing with Warp Prism drops just because this lock-on ability that they have, the lock-on ability to fire while moving, is enough to take out a Warp Prism pretty quickly. So the Warp Prism is going to be here. If the Cyclone comes out in time, I'm going to be kind of amazed. Oh, look at that timing from Barcode. Wow. Cyclone's out. And if the Warp Prism decides to come inside this main base, the Cyclone's going to try to find it, unless the Cyclone moves out here, in which case, never mind. Alright, so never mind. The Cyclone will be entirely out of position as this Warp Prism moves on into the main base of Barcode. And, where is he now? There are the Marines warping inside here. I think that's in sight of that supply depot. It doesn't really matter now because the Adepts are definitely visible now. And here they come. Adepts. SCVs being pulled off as well to try to deal with this. A lot of SCVs are dying. Everybody going to get loaded up, though. As many as can. And there's the lock-on ability. 1, 2, 3, 4, Oh, look out. Warp Prism, they get a couple more shots. Does get out of range there. And some Adepts do fall, but most of them do manage to live. Good control there by State. We have an SCV patrolling back and forth, making sure a third base does not be taken without Barcode's express knowledge and understanding. Observer hanging out doing the same thing for State. There is a Liberator on the way. Okay, so Liberator first in this production. Going to try to harass this base. There are Stalkers prepared for this, though, ready to go. There's a Pylon ready to be photon overcharged if necessary. A little bit more harassment over here. But again, the Cyclone with that range on that lock-on ability is just too much, I think. Too much for that Warp Prism to get any angles and any room to actually attack. So here comes the Liberator, and can it set up anywhere to actually kill stuff? I'm going to try to do it. Going to try to make it happen. And actually the Stalker's going out of position, warping in some more Stalkers to deal with this. There it is. There's that Defender mode ability. The Stalkers come right on in. There are a bunch. They might lose one Stalker. Yes, one Stalker does fall, but they trade it for a Liberator. That is definitely a fair trade in my estimation. Observer here checking out this mineral line, seeing that mineral count. It is 44 to 42 Harvesters. State is ahead on that fact. And about 78 to 77, so very, very close match here. Indeed, both players getting a couple shots off, but really not much lost by way of units killed or workers lost. I guess 7 SCVs were killed there in that Adept attack. I think that was mostly due to the idea that Barcode pulled his workers a little bit unnecessarily. I think he had enough Marines and the Cyclone to get rid of those Adepts as it stood, but pulling the SCVs to allow him to survive without losing too many of his attacking units, which is likely what he was going for. A Liberator swinging around here to the backside, trying to see what mischief she can cause, as she has her little 3-star hat on. The 3D portraits are actually here, so maybe that's something we do like to see. Adept, again, just trying to get some more kills. Liberator, not Liberator, Cyclone really wants to kill that thing, not quite able to do it at all. Liberator setting up that Defender mode circle, and there it is. Gonna catch 2 of the mineral probes, I think. 1 worker kill, 2 worker kill. Any more worker kills? There's a... oh, there's a Dark Shrine up, actually. Oh, another drop back here with Adepts. There are tank shots going off, though. The Adepts getting hammered. Picked up and evacuated once again. The Liberator picks up and moves on out. Does see the Dark Shrine again, scattered out perfectly with that Liberator. Third Nexus on the way for State. Third Command Center on the way for Barcode. No, not quite yet. Instead, just getting upgrades for those bio units. Liberator number 2 heading around the south side. Liberator number 1 on the north side. Observer checking to make sure nothing happens. Going outside of that front door. Barcode being a little bit passive in my estimation. Oh, none of the Liberator dies there without getting too many kills at all. Stalkers in great positions to deal with this. Photon Overcharge chasing away these Liberators again. Another Pylon in great position. This is what you want to do, Protoss. Get these Pylons up right against the back edge of your bases where there's dead air, where Liberators can hide out, and then you could Photon Overcharge them. They do pretty well at shooing those guys away, so excellent, excellent job by State shoving that off. Still trying to make use of these guys. The lock-on ability once again and getting some shots off. Not quite able to get it, but now trying to kill this Adept. One Adept does fall, the other one does as well. So now the Adepts are gone. The Warp Prism is friendless, alone in the universe. More and more probes coming on in. This third base for State is going to be proved to be key. It is 58 to 48 Harvesters. Again, Mules can come into play here and give extra income to Terran against Protoss if they are down about 10 workers in that count. Medevacs are here, a lot of Marines, Marauders, no attack upgrades or armor upgrades yet, although they are just about to finish for this bio composition. The tanks as well, no upgrades on them either. About the 8-minute and 30-second mark when we're really working on Liberator Harass, and it hasn't really been working out, if I do have to say so myself. A lot of Immortals, and it's going to be Storm. It's going to be Storm. Storm from State. Yahoo! I do like to see Storm. One of my favorite spells in the game. Zealot checks this out, sees a lot of Marines, sees a lot of Marauders, and I think State knows that Storm might have been the right way to go. 2 Medevacs. Medevac count is not altogether too high. There are 4 total on the field. Where are the other 2? Likely just coming out of that starport somewhere. I don't see him moving across the field anyway. Alright, so one Marine is holding the zone like a watchtower. Stalkers are going to get rid of it. Or just walk past it. That's cool too. No big deal. Oh, the Adept going to finish it off. Alright, and here are our entrenched positions. Tanks, Marines, and Marauders blinking back. Immortals in the front. A Storm chasing the guys away, forcing them to stim. And Guardian Shield coming up, protecting about half of the army there. Psionic Transfer being used to get on inside. And is it going to finish? No, just scouting to see what State is dealing with here. Not going to worry about it too much. A big old concentrated attack there does kill a couple Adepts very quickly indeed. And just kind of doing the dance back and forth. Nobody really wanting to commit too much Barcode throwing up a defender mode circle here. Probably would want to see some Tempest to try to deal with that. Another warp on in here, but no! The Cyclone gets the warp prism, and the remaining adepts do get completely cleaned up. Coming around from the south side of state, trying to be sneaky, trying to wait for Barcode to move out of position here. Going to kill a missile turret, not quite able to do it. It is burning down though, but moving on into this third base, a big storm on top of all those guys. Wow. Nice storm indeed. These SCVs are getting stormed and trying to attack. Can't quite decide what they want to do. A lot of workers are falling here. Indeed, another storm forcing them back and back and back. This attack looking very, very strong for state. A Liberator flies on in and gets focused down before it can actually join the rest of the army. These guys they're repairing the orbital command. Having killed the base, state does back on out, and Barcode back against the wall. Lost a lot of units there. It's 148 to 146 total supply. He is coming back though. Again, these adepts are rolling on in, trying to kill some workers. Going to be able to do it. Lock-on ability being used from this Cyclone and this Marauder, killing stuff at the same time. A big attack at the front door. Marines and Marauders taking down Stalkers very easily. Indeed, an Immortal dies as well. Adepts being warped in to try to deal with this. I'm not sure if that is a perfect choice or not. These adepts finally do get cleaned up after doing quite a bit of damage to that second base. Income tab shows 66 to 56 harvesters. Again, really, really high on that worker count is state, but mules can really kind of accommodate for that. No big deal for Barcode. Kind of stuck in no man's land here. Barcode with 4 medevacs. Just kind of hanging out. No big deal. I don't know where they want to go. An observer going to check them out. Can't really go this way. There are stalkers this way. There's a lot of stalkers too. But more and more reinforcements coming on out. That third base has been replanted by Barcode. Fourth base on the way for state. And Tempest on the way for state as well. +2/+2 being researched. Barcode is also getting more Liberators, more Marauders, and some Widow Mines mixed in. I don't know that he's really made use of these quite to this point, but he does have quite a handful and ready to go. Oh, the Tempest going to chase these guys down. Oh no, 1 medevac does fall. A full medevac. They can't quite get out of there. Doesn't know where to go. Another one falls. Oh no, this is so bad for Barcode. Just trying to run for it now, blinking forward. A couple more shots. It does survive. It does live. It manages 2 of the medevacs do manage to live. 2 full medevacs. Very grateful for that experience of living. Another Liberator trying to kill stuff up to 8 kills. And does get taken out by Stalkers again. Stalkers a pretty good choice if you're trying to deal with Liberators. Yeah, they get 2-shot, but they shoot pretty quickly. They hit pretty hard. And it's usually a fair exchange if you're using Stalkers to get rid of Liberators, even if it feels like it's not so great. State is getting an Oracle likely to be used for Revelation at this stage in the game. And here we are at the 12-minute mark. Resources lost. Can we get that here? Units killed 75 to 43. Workers killed 30 to 15. State in pretty good control of this so far. However, moving forward with Marines and Marauders, taking out a couple Stalkers for pretty much nothing at all. Guardian Shield coming up, some force fields, trying to trap some of these units. A few units do end up getting killed, but coming from the south side, Marines and Marauders, this base completely under assault. This Nexus is definitely going to fall. I don't see any way that state can save it. He's setting up a siege on the front line of Barcode. Going to send in some adepts to scout things on out. But once again, the fourth base does fall. All of these workers die as well. And Liberators trying to do what they can. Marines, Marauders coming on in, but a big storm forces them back. Once again, the Tempest being used to snipe down the Liberators from long distance. Another group of Marines and Marauders coming into this third base. Oh no, state. Oh no, state. And canceling the warp-in? No, there's another pylon back there. Does not cancel the warp-in. Still continuing to harass at the front is state, but losing bases while not necessarily killing enough stuff here. I don't think all the Liberators, though, are falling. Tanks as well taking shots. Is there Photon Overcharge available? Tempest being used to take out these severely oversim units, but the third Nexus does fall. Barcode definitely now up 3 bases to 2, killing all of these workers. It is 36 to 61 harvesters. Barcode trying to do what he can to make this work. Stimming forward, or rather blinking forward, taking out Liberators, Immortals, crushing everything on the ground, using their ability that is extra damage against armored units, chasing away all these SCVs that went running for their lives to Nowheresville. This finally does get cleaned up. The Tempest managed to clean it up with a Photon Overcharger too. Some Stalkers in here at the same time. This command center taking shots from Stalkers, taking shots from Tempest. It will likely burn down. Revelation being tossed down on this army. There's a Viking in the air. Viking likely going to be used to try to deal with those Oracles. And Marauders so low on health. Medevac as well does get killed. These guys just running around, not quite sure what to do with their lives. They can't replant. They can't replant a command center. They don't have enough money to do that. This is coming down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen, and the command center does fall. I've always thought it would be fun if buildings that fall to the ground and explode hurt the units that are underneath them. Like does some damage, maybe just 10 or 12 hit points, just for fun. Mostly for cosmetic differences, but third Nexus is being replanted by State. Barcode is now holed up on 2 base, not looking good at all for our Terran player. Tempests trying to get rid of units from a distance. Really good against things like Broodlords and Liberators, not so good against Marauders and Marines. But you know what? If they're not getting hit and they're doing damage, it's pretty much the gravy at that point. They're going after the Vikings first, coming on in from the left side. The Marines are trying to get rid of these Tempest. SCVs being pulled off the line as well. Big storm on top of all of that bio. There is nothing left, and a GG from Barcode. Barcode's defeated, State's victorious, and Barcode has left the game. Well, there you have it. Pretty strong scoring there from State. I was worried about him. I was worried when he lost that third base, when he lost that fourth base. And it seemed like the Marines and Marauders were just going to keep coming forever and ever, losing so many workers in the process. But he was able to stabilize using Tempest, get some Stalkers warped in there as well, some long-distance mining, and at the same time, his attack at the front was successful. The Tempests were very, very excellent. 7 kills, 6 kills, 8 kills, 1 kill, 8 kills on those Tempests, getting rid of Liberators absolutely as easily as pie. And that's it for us today. So this has been Falcon Paladin with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook, both at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thanks for watching, and you take care of yourself.